Fine, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, a very very special good evening of the new year to everyone. Okay, as usual, myself Shabnam from the Code Ark, and we are here at day 21 of our Python Django SQL series, and respectively of our full stack development series as well. Good evening, Rakesh. Good evening, Jyoti. Good evening, Navin. Okay, and everyone else who are here. Otherwise, audibility, visibility, all clear and set to go ahead. Please acknowledge to us in the chat section. Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, please. Thank you so much for that. Alright, let's have a quick recap of what we have been doing since the last couple of classes, because it's a long time, I think more than 10 days that we are meeting today after a short vacation kind of. Is it okay? Fine. First of all, we hope you all are very very well and enjoying the new eve and the season. Fine. Since the last couple of lectures, we were dealing with object oriented programming in Python, wherein everything we code in terms of classes and objects. Okay, now I don't know how far or how good or bad maybe, okay, your practice or preparation is going on, but we expect that you are doing it consistently. Okay, fine. ठीक है, we were talking about inheritance as well and some 2 to 3 types of inheritance. Is that okay? Single, multiple and multi-level. That's what. Is that fine? Okay, in the last class we were again talking the concept of let me say object oriented programming itself, and I think there is a small part of object oriented programming still left to be done from us by our side. That is abstraction, and the access specifiers, that is public, private and protected. Okay, now today listen to my agenda. With a fresh mind, I won't go back to object oriented programming. Let's take a new big topic, that is file handling in Python, and whatever remains, it's hardly 5 to 10% that is in OPS which is remaining. Whatever remains in object oriented programming, we push it to the list of pending content. Okay, good. Thank you everyone for your wishes, and happy new year to everyone as well. Good. Yes, method overriding, that is what we had done last time. Correct. You're right, Naveen. Fine. Okay, so here we go. This is our I'm sorry, this is in other PPT open, in fact. Anyways, never mind. This is day 21 and we are learning file handling in Python today. Okay, now first of all, why and what is this file handling? Okay, try to understand. Every time the data that we need to operate upon, every time the data which we need to operate upon cannot come directly by data entry or by accepting input from the user. Okay, like input function, you enter your age, input function, you enter your name. So that would even be considered as a very very irritating task. So sometimes this data has to be taken in from maybe a notepad file, which is a text file, okay, or maybe an Excel file, which is also considered as a CSV file, and many other file format. Sometimes the data could be an image as well. Sometimes the data could be a PDF as well, right? So the data that a program need to act upon, last time I repeat, the data a program need to operate upon, act upon, might or cannot be always taken in every scenario. हर हाल में, हर condition में, हर scenario में, you cannot expect user to input. At time this data comes from an external source. Okay, so today we're learning how to use that external source as a text file to input data in a Python program. Okay, we want to deal with the data, but the data is in an external file. It might be a notepad file, it might be an Excel or a CSV file, it can be a PDF file, it can be a JPG file. It's an image format, of course, that becomes very difficult to handle, right? But moral of the story up until now is, हर बार जो data चाहिए might not necessarily be input from the user. This data might also come from any external file. Okay, so let's see quickly through code and programs how does Python deal with data from an external file. Okay, fine. You are understanding the theoretical concepts or not, please keep acknowledging us in the chat section. And in case if you want we to slow down, okay, आप चाहते हम थोड़ा और slow जाए तो वो भी बता दीजिए, ठीक है. So first of all, this is my file. I open a txt file today. This can be any other file as well, but for simplicity we are working with a text file. Alright, ठीक है. I write some content in this file like hello. Okay, I'm like download and upload a file option. Yes, but for that we have some different concepts, Naveen. Correct. Okay, hello. How are you? Okay, simple data I'm inputting. Consider this is a very ordinary text. Okay, how are let me say you or hope you are enjoying these days, or keeping well, keeping safe these days, whatever, and I say goodbye. Finish. Okay, I save this file. Now where you save matter, because Python आपसे path पूछेगा. Okay, please note down this point. Where you save matter. Okay, the local path in your physical drive or a hard drive, you need to answer to Python. Because this file we are going to open and read in a Python editor now, or a Python program. Okay, so let me go to save it. Let me go to say yes, but the process is different. Shreyas, for Excel or any XLS file or any CSV file, the process is different, not the one that we are using today. I hope you got my point. Is it okay? Fine. We have some functions like read CSV and all, but because that comes too much into NumPy pandas, we are not dealing with them. Someday, if time permit and you also can extend the class, ready to sit with me, I'll show you how those files are read here. Okay, with file handling, you are actually reading only txt files. Whereas other files can also be read, but then we need some advanced functions like read CSV, read Excel, and so on. Okay, those functions can be imported from NumPy pandas, which are the very popular libraries in Python. Generally, that or those libraries we learn during data analysis and data science. Now, since we are into full stack, we omit that part. Okay, in fact, on our channel, I have also kept some series for NumPy Panda 1 or 2 sessions wherein you can see how to do that. Okay, okay, fine. So on a desktop, I have a folder called as upgrade. I'm saving it here. You save it anywhere in your C drive, D drive, जहाँ आपको save करना है करिए. I'm keeping the data little organized. Okay, so let me save it by the name, say day 21. Okay, the default extension of any text file is .txt. The default extension. I say save, and the file is saved. Okay, alright. I keep this file minimized, but it would make sense if you close it. Keep this point in your mind. Very soon I'll come back to this. Why did I ask you to keep it close? समझ रहे हैं आप बात सही? ठीक है, क्या बोला मैंने अभी आपको? I kept the file minimized, but it would still make sense if you close it. Why? We'll come back to this point. ठीक है? Okay, this is my Jupyter notebook. Okay, fine. If the font is too small, let me increase it. It's opening. Hold on, it's opening. Or if I can open, or okay, fine, it's done. Okay, alright, fine. People, function open. Come on, Python function open to open any text file in Python program. Okay, so this is the first important thing that we are talking for the class today. The function open. The name itself reveals the meaning. It's going to open a file in a Python program. Okay, two argument the function require. Function requires two argument. First of all, name and path of the file. Where is the file you want to open? Okay, where is the file you want to open? Now you can't write just name of the file here along with extension. No, you can't write just name. You have to write with its complete path. Okay, now one thing I mention here only for my friends who can understand. Everyone need not to break your head. If we were coding this program in Python ideally, then even if you do not write the path, sometime it works. Because we have an option. If you keep the notepad file and a Python program in a same folder, you may not need to write an complete absolute path. Okay, I don't know how many of you actually understood what I mentioned here. Right? Suppose if you keep when you save your file in a idle.py file, so .py file and a txt file if you keep in the same folder, so then necessarily mandatorily you don't have to mention the full path. Okay, now since here we aren't working that way, okay, so let me mention the full path. Choice is yours, you copy the path the way you want. Okay, for me this folder is opened here. Okay, I simply copy this path. Even if you can right click and copy path of the file. File name, right click, copy path. Even that way you can work with it. I just copy the path up until here. Come back here. Paste it. And put a slash. Is it okay? Yes, Shreyas, that's what I want to say, the relative path. Okay, you're right. I want to say the same thing. That is the relative path. What question you're asking? Correct. Okay, fine. So this is the first argument that we have mentioned. I told you we need two argument. Open function आपसे दो question पूछेगा. Number one, where is the file that you want to open? Tell me the name of the file, extension along with the file path. Okay. Second argument you need to pass to this function is the mode in which you want to open a file. You understand mode, right? Like you say your phone operates in so many mode: silent mode, vibration mode, airplane mode, ringtone mode, so whatever it may be, correct? Fine. Your AC works in so many different mode. I hope you're understanding. So even the file can be opened in one of the three mode. So let me introduce you these modes one by one practically. First mode is a read and the simplest of all the mode. Okay, so this is how it completes the syntax of the function open. Open function asks you name and path of the file to be opened and the mode in which you open. So this is the first thing. Number two, after opening a file, it returns the content of the file back to the program. Okay, I repeat the point again, people. File open करने के बाद it doesn't print. Say if I run this code as of now, it's going to give me an error. The reason of the error I'll show you when I debug it. But once it opens, it returns you back. भाई open करने के बाद file का क्या करना है? So it returns the file or the content of the file back to the program. And by now we all have become an expert in this concept that people, that whenever function returns something, we have to accept it in a local variable. Is that okay? Fine. So let me accept the opened file or the content of this file in a variable f. Alright, finish. 90% of your work is done. You just have to print f or read the data from f. Okay, so this is how piece by piece, part by part, we completed this one line code. Open function opens a txt or a text file. First argument, name and path of the file. Second argument, the mode in which you want to open the file. R, that means the read mode. Okay, I run this, and unfortunately, Jupyter Notebook shows me an error here, or in fact Python shows me a syntax error here. Sorry, cannot read this truncated or escape character, or I'm sorry for that. Okay, cannot read something like this. This is something Unicode escape error. Okay, now generally what happens, people, this is something important that you need to understand. Generally what happens, I just need to silent my phone. Give me a moment of time, please. Okay, fine, here we go. These backslashes in Python, people, this is actually used as an escape character. Okay, so Python is unable to read the string in this format the way you have written here, like desktop backslash upgrade backslash day21.txt. Suppose by chance अगर यहाँ पर n होता तो this actually will be treated as a new line character. Are you getting it? Backslash n or maybe backslash t. So actually the meaning of backslash t is a tab. Backslash n is a new line character. So Python considers these backslashes as an escape character, right? So that's the reason it is throwing an error there. So sorry, unable to treat this string. ये आपने क्या लिखा है भाई, मुझे तो समझने नहीं आ रहा है. Python says. So how do we deal with this issue? We simply write letter R before the path. Okay, R before the path. R stands for raw string. Okay, I have mentioned it somewhere on my Word file. Okay, just a moment. If not this way, so let me open directly from here. Okay, R in Python means a raw string. Okay, raw string flag means what, you know, whatever I have written in between this quote, treat it as a string. You understood? No need to interpret it as a backslashes or as a special character. Consider it as a string ditto the way I have written. Do not treat any special character as an escape character in that. Fine. So that's what we have mentioned here. R before a string tells Python interpreter to treat slashes or backslashes as a character, raw character, and don't treat it as an escape character. Right? My friends जो understand हिंदी here, जैसा मैंने लिखा है वैसा उसको पढ़ना. उसमें कोई स्पेशल कैरेक्टर आता है तो उसे वैसे ट्रीट नहीं करना. Correct? That is what is the meaning of R or raw string before the beginning of any path. Okay friends, we would be glad if you could mention us in the chat section the concept of R understood or not. नहीं समझा तो बता दीजिए लेक्चर खत्म होने से पहला. We'll emphasize on that again because this is important. ये घूम फिर कर आगे फिर आएगा. You understood? This will come back again some time later or sooner in the future again. Clear? So that is what is the signal R. I to call it as a signal only, as if I have raised a flag. मैंने वो signal दे दिया है भाई. Quotes में whatever I have written, read the way I have mentioned. Don't try to treat or interpret it any other way. Good, thank you. Fine, so now you see like a magic this error is gone. Okay, no slashes are treated here as a special character, of course, but this path should exist, right? For example, instead of day 21, if I write day 22, no sorry, you see it's taking so much of time and telling you not found. Okay, sorry, this file is not found. Raw string understood. Okay, thank you. Right, so provided path exists, there won't be any error, provided file exists. Okay, now for those of my friend who are thinking what next we will do, if you just write printf, so that's not going to make any sense. It simply returns the detail of those files. Okay, what is the encoding method and what is the name and path of the file, what is the mode it has been opened in. Okay, so that is not going to make sense. To open this file, you have to use a file handling function, that is read. Oh my god, I think there is some issue here. Okay. Wait guys, wait. Okay, fine, we are back. Okay, so not f but f dot read. and the same file is opened here by the Python interpreter in a Python editor or a Python environment or a IDE, whatever you call it to be. Is that okay? Do we use it when you use path name or any string? We generally use R only when we mention the complete path. Okay, if there is a single name like day22.txt, you really don't need R. R का काम सिर्फ इतना है, वो बैक स्लैशेस को स्पेशल कैरेक्टर ट्रीट ना करे. That's all. Okay, that's what I want to answer you, Shreyas. Acha, there is one more way how you can read this. There is one more way. I think my keyboard is misbehaving. Okay, here we go. So let me comment this part. Okay, so for I in F, print I. Okay, for I in F, print I. Let me not explain you. You see the output first and then you tell me. Okay, so this is how it is reading by giving a one line blank line space after every red line. Okay, so this way or that way, either using counter or loops and reading the file line by line, and if not that way, just use the read function. It is as all going to open the file. Right, so the content is same that we wish to open. Okay, I hope this part of the code is clear to you. So there's two ways we have read it. Okay, a good idea always is, once you have read the file, always make sure that you close it. Always make sure that you close it. It is not going to give any difference in the output, but closing a file would make one thing clear, that all the used buffers in the memory during runtime is released. Understood? So as a good developer or as a responsible developer, we make sure that the file that we have opened, we have closed after we have used it, ताकि जो बफर या जो मेमोरी उसने यूज़ किया है, that can be assumed to be released, and many more things. I hope you got my point. Can we write this code in VS Code, ma'am? Of course, Naveen. Why not? Is that okay? Why not? Okay. I think I have opened Jupyter Notebook today. All right. I was in my own rhythm. ठीक है. So this was Naveen who actually pointed out that you can do that, but let us continue in Jupyter Notebook. Maybe first time I'm using in front of you. Same code you please copy paste or code it in a Visual Studio Code. Okay, since my last lecture was connected with the Jupyter Notebook, I continued with it. Okay, and I forgot absolutely that we have been coding in Visual Studio Code all these days. Okay, apologies for that. But one thing is good, you actually got to introduce to this environment. Okay, it looks like a collab, people. First or second day of Python, if you have remembered, वो जैसा collab दिखता था, Google Colab, it just looks like a collab. Okay, in fact, you can try also Jupyter Notebook. For that, you will have to download and install Anaconda. Okay, so let me not waste your time behind that. If you don't want to do it, don't do. Visual Studio Code, that is better enough. Okay, good. Thank you for that. I literally forgot it. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. You work in Visual Studio Code, you work here. That's your choice. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हुए. Next, now I increase my speed a bit since you got a grip. Okay, since you got a grip to it. Ma'am, I also thought I might have missed previous class when you start. Okay, no. So if those who are confused, this is Jupyter Notebook. I've in my own rhythm continued in it. There is absolutely no problem. You please continue in Visual Studio Code. In fact, tomorrow or next class onwards, we'll come back to Visual Studio Code only. Okay, take it. Good. Chaliye. So now let's see what is the other mode a file can be opened in. Okay, वो दूसरा mode कौन सा है? Out of three, first mode we introduced was a read mode. Okay, ठीक है. So let me come here. I wish I don't have to restart this again. Okay, fine. Let me say again, f is equals to open open, and if you don't mind, I copy the same thing, day21.txt, but this time I want to open in a write mode. Okay, I make sure that I write the raw string before the file path, write mode. Now keep my point in your mind. You are opening a file in a write mode at your own risk. तुम्हारी खुद की जिम्मेदारी पे ये काम आप खुद की जिम्मेदारी पे कर रहे हो. Why so? Why such warning? We'll see when the output comes. Okay, fine. So the file is open. Okay, and I continue the code by writing f dot write, not read because I'm writing. Okay. Say I want to write the content called as another line added. Okay, and as I told you, it's a good practice, you close it. Sometimes, you know, it happens when you don't close the file and you write it, it doesn't get affected. There may be some internal issues associated with it. So it's always a good practice that you close an open file. Okay, ठीक है. I run this code. Of course, there is no output to show here because f is actually a file handler. It points to the file. So when you say f dot write, it is not going to print here. Am I right? This is not going to print here. Where you need to check the output in a notepad file. Okay, now come back here. See, this is my notepad file. Which one was it? Day 21. Okay, but I don't find any difference here. The reason why, because the file was actually open. That's the reason I instructed you keep the file closed. So I close this. I go to my folder upgrade again. This is my file day 21. Here it is, and I open it. Yes, the content is here, another line added. Understood? So what did you notice? I shall be waiting for a couple of moments here in case if somebody can answer me in the chat section. What did you notice then? Yeah, the content which you want to add is already added. Yes, the previous contents are overwritten, am I right? So this is one drawback, people. If you open the file in a write mode, it will obviously open. Understood? But if the file is already existing, it overwrites it. And if it is not existing, it creates it. I hope you got my point. You experiment the second half of the statement I told. The file which you are trying to open in write mode, there could be two possibilities. Either the file is not existing, so it will create a file by that name. And if the file is already existing, it will be overwritten. Yes, the previous content is over, so that's a risk. There are chances that I might lose some of my important or crucial data, correct? अरे भाई ऐसा तो कोई डेटा हमारा गुम जाएगा, लूज हो जाएगा, and that's a permanent change. Are you understanding? There's no way to get the data back. And what if it was my some other quotation file or some employee detail file or maybe customer or the sales detail file? So there's no way to recover that data back. Is that okay? Fine. So what do we do? A better solution to this problem. Let's open a file in an third mode, that is called as an append mode. Okay, append, people. Now we all know the meaning of append. Append, people. If the file is existing, so the content will be appended in the end of the file. Are you understanding? जहाँ पर भी फाइल खत्म होता है उसके बाद से लिखना शुरू करना. Wherever the file ends, start writing from there. Okay. Keeping rest 2 lines of the code same, I run the program or I run this 2-3 lines of code. Come back here again, day 21. Okay, if you do not see any effect, never mind. Close this. Close this. Okay, and open again. So day 21. Here we go. Yes, another line added, another line added. I hope you're getting my point. And if you don't want it this way, see, you can't help. आप और एक बार run करोगे. If you run it one more time, guys, see, So definitely it is going to give you output third time. Okay, you will have to cope up with me today. Our system is responding slow. Okay, so one more time, another line added. Okay, fine. So if what if I wanted to add every time the content on a new line? What if I wanted to do that? So make sure that you make use of \n. Okay, either in the beginning of the line or in the end of the line. So let's see this time what happens. Okay, so if I open the file again, okay, this time it is another line added. Is that okay? All of us, yeah, you want you write anything? Okay, many people are under the impression that the way we have functions called as f.read.write, there would be a function called as append. No, there is no function append. The function for file handling to add the content is write only. Hope you understood. The function in file handling to add a content is write, whether you open a file in a write mode or you open it in an append mode. तो गलती से भी ये मत सोचना. For write mode, if it is write function, append mode it will be append function. Function is same. Is that okay? All of us, please acknowledge to us in the chat section if the content up until here is understood or not. ठीक है. Now by the time you write to us in the chat box, we go ahead and this time I want to count. Let's take this example. Come on. I want to count the total number of words in a file. Okay. Total number of words in the file. So let's see how we can do that. Let me first come back here. I write this file again with some content like this. Hi. Hello. How are you? Hope you are doing well. And goodbye. That's it. Okay, and I save this file. I hope you're understanding. Fine. So what do we do is, first of all, let me open this file in a read mode. Okay, let me open this file in a read mode. Okay, whether the file is opened or not, let's check. Yep, so the file is here. Hoping you're understanding. Now this time let me not print the red content. आराम से ध्यान से सुनिए. I don't want to print this red content. I want to store this red content in some variable. Let's take A. Okay, let's take A. You need not to print A because that is nothing but the same. After opening the file, we have stored it in A. Hoping you are understanding it. Correct? Now what do I do is simply I write here A dot split. Can you understand what happened? People, A dot split. Okay, because when you read the file and stored in A actually became a string, not a file. जब आपने file open करके, okay, what happened? My notifications got open. We opened the file, read the file and stored in A. So A became a string. A is no more a file. And I split this string A, people, space wise. I hope you got my point. Right? See, one example I have kept it here if you can understand. Okay, say A, Mumbai is a city. Then I want to split this string into words, people. Now I know what separates one word from another word. That is a space, right? एक वर्ड को दूसरे वर्ड से क्या सेपरेट करता है? तो वो स्पेस सेपरेट करता है. So split as per space. Even if you write like this, that also works. And if it is a space, even if you leave it blank, nothing, that also works. Right? So Mumbai is a city. Okay, it is a capital city of Maharashtra. Something like that. And if I say again split, so this is how you find it here. Everywhere the space comes, the string is been splitted and all these substrings have been written back to the program as a list, correct? So that has been written back to the program as a list. For example, if I take this output in B, and if I check the type of B, come on, print the type of B. Fine, so it's a list because this splitted data is written as a list elements. Clear? Now how many words are present in this string? You simply check the length of B, correct? Come on, you simply check the length of B. So if I write a length, I'm taking some time to click. Hold on please, hold on. Okay, so instead of writing type, if I write len, okay, so it says 10. Count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct. Am I right? So this is exactly what we are doing here. We read the file, but if you read a file, it is still in a file format. I stored it in a local variable, it will be in a format of a string. And let me split this entire string. Hello, how are you? Hope you're fine. And I store it in some variable, say B. You want to print B just to check things are working the way we are doing, or if you want, you check the length of B. Okay, because the length of this list will be the total number of words, correct or not? So we say length of B. Okay, Shreyas is asking ma'am to write which argument you passed file name, the one which you got overwritten. I didn't understand the question, Shreyas. To write which argument you passed file name, the one which got, yes, the one which got overwritten actually. Okay, anyways, here when I say length of B, so it tells me 12. It tells me 12. If you could just cross check, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 are the total number of words in this file. Okay, and if I increase one more word, say everyone, I save this and I run this code again. Okay, I run this code again. Alright, I run this code and what's happening? Okay, fine. So that's updated to 13. Hoping you are understanding. Now suppose if I want to check out of these 13 words, in case if there is any word called as how, and how many are those words? Okay, how many are those words? Let me see how many words are there. How? Okay, only there is one word, how. Hello, how are you? And how is everyone else? Okay, so let me save this. So we know the word how is 2 times here. So let me check how many number of times the word how repeats. Okay, so if you don't mind, let me copy this path. Okay, let me copy this path. Okay, coming back here, pasting it, and f.read, I open this file to read and I store it in A. Okay, I store it in A. I say a.split, same thing, and all the splitted word as a list element I store it in B. Okay, just for my satisfaction I say print B, the list is printed. And if you want, you can even print it using for loop, because we are going to use the loop next. Suppose अगर आपने ऐसे print किया होता, for I in B, print I. Yep, so one words are displayed this way. But I don't want to print I. I want to, let me take a variable here. Come on, let me take a variable here. Sometime it's a bad luck. Okay, say variable is C. Okay, and I want to see only if the word is how, or how's h could be small also. Again how. I hope you understood this condition. For I in B, if I, okay, if I is equal to how or how, I want to increase this count by 1. Hoping you are understanding. Okay? Would be glad if someone acknowledged to us in the chat section. Tell me, what are we doing? We are just opening the file. Using read function, we read the content but stored it as a string in A, because string can be splitted, file cannot be. Right? We splitted that content space wise and stored it in B. So B is a list of all the words splitted from space. I'm opening that list or traveling in the list using the for loop, word by word, element by element, and if any element of that list is either how or this how, correct? If how or this how, I'm just incrementing count by 1, and eventually at the end when I come out of this loop, I just print C. So let's check. Okay, it says 2. Is that correct? So if I want to check the presence of any other word like the, okay, or the, no, sorry, 0, because there is no the, correct? If I want to check the presence of some other word like good, okay, I just get rid of this part. Yep, so there is one number of time the word good is occurring. Is that okay? There is one number of time the word good is occurring. Hoping you are understanding. All of us here. Good, thank you. Fine. Similarly, what will happen now? Tell me. Say if I split the line not space wise. People, suppose I split the line not space wise but the special character \n wise. Okay, \n wise, and this all line of codes, let me get rid of it just for now. Yep, so how it is splitting that string? Tell me, wherever a new line character is found, right? So this is not a list of words, this is a list of lines this time, correct or not? Hi people, are you understanding? This time we are having file not as a list of words but a list of line. So if I say print length of B, it's actually going to return me how many other number of lines here? 5. Is it 5? Let's cross check. Yup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the number of lines in the file. Although there is a ready-made function also, read lines, whose length function will return the length. That's one way. This is another way. Now suppose I want to find how many lines end with the letter E. Okay, how many lines end with the letter E? Say this line is ending with the letter E, and this line, third line, is also ending with the letter E. So there are total 2 lines. Boys and girls, there are total 2 lines ending with the letter E. Can you help me to write the logic? Okay, this is the list of lines, not a list of words this time. So how many lines are present in the file? 5. How many words were present in the file? Some 12 or 13, correct? But how many lines are ending with a particular character? So let me run the loop here. Come on, let me run this loop here. For I in B. So who is going to be the first I? This element, that is high, correct? So what do I do? I simply write here. Wait for a moment. By the time I'm waiting for a moment, you run your logic. Okay, we are facing some problem here in the clicks. Okay, we are done. Yes, Navin, correct. It's easy to find number of lines or words, correct. That's what we are doing actually. So if the last character, what is the index number of the last letter of the string. Every string is different in length, every line will be different in length. Now we don't know in advance what is the length of the line, but we know very well that the last element will also have the index number -1. Correct? So for I, or -1 of I is if it is equal to E, small e or capital E, I leave it up to you to check. Okay, so count is equals to count plus 1. If there is no such variable, declare one such, please. Okay, initially count declared as 0, but if any element in the list found ending with E, hello, I repeat, if any element in the list is found ending with E, then please do increase the number of count. Okay, so once I come out of this loop, let me print count. Yep, it says 2. Check the last one. Correct, 2. Why? Because there are 2 lines who are ending with E. Change the number of lines. Okay, everyone will E. I intentionally write here E. Okay, same, save, and let me write one more thing. EE. I save this. I come back here and I run this. Okay, I run this. F.close. Okay, so this time it says me total 4 lines. Is that okay? It tells me total 4 lines. How come 4 lines? Because 2 of them we have newly added here. Hoping people are understanding. Is that okay? Fine. So just to put up all this as a recap, tell me what we have done. We saw how to open a txt file. People, how to open a txt file. What are the 3 different modes of a file? Read, write and append mode. Is that okay? Read mode, write mode and the append mode. How to count the number of words in a file. How to search a particular word in the file. Okay, no, you cannot make any editings in the file here. You understood? Except writing and appending. If you say I have committed a spelling mistake there and I want to correct it from here, so that's not possible. You want, you can write a new content. You want, you can append some more content. But those kind of modification is not supported. In case if you're wondering if that is possible or not. समझ रहे आप बात, राइट? मैंने क्या बोला आपको समझ में आया होगा. Correct. More importantly, we understood the concept of R. That is a raw string here. If you mention the raw string, that means it considers the file as a file path. It has to consider the characters in the file path the way it is mentioned or written, and not to interpret any backslashes or any special character with their escape sequence meaning. Is that okay? Fine. We also understood like how to check some other operations, like how many number of lines are ending with E. Similarly, you can also check how many number of lines are starting with E. Is it okay? Starting with E means what? Only the index number is going to change here from -1 to 0. Correct or not? Fine. The index number is going to change here from -1 to 0. Okay. I just open one of my file handling code to check is there anything remaining for the class today. One moment, please. Okay. Let's do this one. So I want to check how many words in the file is in uppercase. Let's do that quickly. Okay, let's do that quickly. Yes, Shreyas, it will create a new file, provided the mode is W. Shreyas, I would like to continue with your doubt. Provided the word mode is W, and if there is no such file and the mode is read, it is going to give you an error. Okay, people, before we end up the class today, I want to check how many words in the file are in uppercase. Uppercase, like this. You see, hi ka H is in uppercase, or how many letters are in uppercase? Hello ka H, how ka H again. So these all. So let's do it. How? If you don't mind, let me change this file. Okay, let me change this file till here. Okay, I just run this. Okay. And if I show you, see, if you read the file and store it in A and you print A, so that's going to give you the same output as file.read will give you, correct? But if you just don't print A, people, 1 minute, if you just don't print A, where am I? Here. Suppose if I try to execute A using loop, okay, suppose I try to execute A using loop like this, for I in A, print I, you see how ugly the output looks like. It actually prints everything in a string as a character. I hope you got my point. Is that okay? So that's the difference between if you say just print A. Check one more time. Because A is a string now. A is a string now. It has read the entire string as it is. But if you run a string or a loop over a sequence, loop on some sequence, people, so that is going to read the element of the string one by one, correct or not? Element of the string one by one and print it. Is that okay? Fine. So what I do is, again I take a variable count, okay, and I check if I dot is upper. Remember the string function, it checks whether the letter is in uppercase or lowercase. Is upper, is lower. Okay, that's a shortcut to write if I dot is upper equal true. That if the letter is in uppercase, increase the count by 1. Feel free to ask your queries in case if you're not understanding. Please feel free to ask. We'll try our best how to reply to you back. Is that okay? Fine. So if you read the entire string at one go, it's going to display the file. But if you run a loop over the string, it is going to read the string letter by letter. That's how for loop works for a sequence, correct? Element by element. And for each character of that string, I'm checking is it in uppercase or not. If it is in uppercase, simply we are increasing the count value by 1. And if it is not, we are not taking any action. After the loop ends and we are out, we simply print what the value count holds. Okay, so there are total 7 upper letters, uppercase letter, or maybe there are total 7 words which are in uppercase or starts with uppercase. Hoping you are understanding. Would be glad if someone could mention here. Is that okay? All of us here fine. Now when we end this concept of file handling, people, we have not yet made any assignment question for the day today, but we will send you soon. Don't worry for that. After we end it, when you go to practice, there is one more way we can open a file, that is using with keyword. Okay, now time does not permit us to go beyond and understand the with keyword. So you take it as a little self-assignment question for today. Try to Google more about the with method. Okay, how to open the file using the with method or the with technique. If you understand, well. If you don't, then I'll speak about it in the next class. Is that okay? Fine. So we learned what is file handling. First of all, why to use file handling. We worked with the txt format of the file, 3 modes of the file, concept of raw string, count the number of lines, number of words, or maybe number of characters as well. Checking the line ending with a particular letter or starting with a particular letter. Checking the number of words starting with a uppercase letter or maybe some other type of letter. Is that okay? Searching for a particular word to be occurring in a string and how many number of times in a string. I hope you got my point. Count the number of words and also print the word which is in uppercase. Okay, so after that you have to simply write print I. You understood? Print that particular I in the loop itself. Alright, but that will print only the letter. It is not going to print the word. For that you will have to do some more hard work in the program. Try to form that logic. Answer to Navin's question. Okay, fine. I'm still here connected for the next 2 minutes after ending the session in case if you are having any doubt. Okay. Please acknowledge to us in the chat section जो भी सिखाया समझाया आपको समझा के नहीं. And if you have really liked our efforts, our work, our punctuality and everything, please do not forget to like to it. Okay? Goodbye, take care, see you back on Friday.